Hola, I'm Ya-Nung. I'm from Taiwan. I'm an artist with a multidiscipline because I have a background of the social work, traditional music, and video. I'm also a filmmaker. So usually my artist creation will include at least two fields of arts, such as I use visual, sound, and movement, also the landscape, sometimes including some installation. So I also like to collaborate with different fields of artists to inspire more and create more possibility. And this time for this residency, I will focus more on sound. And because usually for general people, we are very visual, because the eyes is the very directly ways of receiving every information from the world. So as a visual artist and musician, I think I'm very lucky because I have a training background of music to open my eyes, open my ears, to make my ears more sensibility. So I think as an artist and creative workers, the most important things is the ways of observation, because you need to receive information from the world. So those information will be kind of like a database in your brain. So in the future, you will use this information as a basic material and using into your artist creations. So I think it's very important use any kind of ways of observation to enrich your database in the brain. So during the residency, because I have a really bad memory, so I try to do record everything with my drawing. It's a diary, diario de dibuja. So I try to drawing every day, recording what happened every day, what kind of people I met, and what I did. Project in Homesession is called Dialogue, and this project is about sound composition. I will mix music, sound, and daily life sound I record in Barcelona. And maybe the sound from students in the workshop, I will mix them together to make a sound composition. It's also very interesting because when you understand language, it can give you a lot of information. But once you don't know about these languages, it will be kind of noise. And even you tend to close your ears and make it like an ambient sound you don't sense at all. So I want to use language as a material to do some creations, coding and decoding. So I'm going to use this concept coding and decoding to transfer language, different language, into sound pieces. And I also will add some different sound I discovered is interesting in daily life in Barcelona, to add it into my composition. And also with my background with the traditional music, I will play some melody. Maybe it's not so music melody, but it's also interesting sound to add into this composition. So it's like a mixed together with the final result. As for my process of creation, usually because I'm especially interested in people in space, so I prefer to do things like site-specific, especially when I come here in Spain. It's my first time to visit Spain, and I want to do something more related with the locals, because I think I already come here. If I do what I can do at home, it's kind of like meaningless. I come here, so I try to talk with people, have more interact with the local people to know more culture and background of this society. So when I started do my creations, I usually will spend a lot of time to go on the streets, wandering the streets, to talk with people, to know more, to do research, field research, know more about the daily lives, and I try to make myself into the local lives. I try to in such a short time, and I want to find, or maybe I say rediscovered, this something I think very different from my culture. But those things usually is very common to the local people. Maybe it's too common, so they usually neglect these small things, object or phenomena. So I'd like to rediscover this object or phenomena in their daily lives. They usually didn't notice, to use these kind of things as my material of creation.